Hey guys, so I want to go over the prologue and epilogue for this book, The Knot of Time, Astrology and the Female Experience by Lindsay River and Sally Gillespie. And you don't have to be a female to read this. It's just the prologue and epilogue that is written for the feminine energies within, but the entire book is just a regular astrology book, and it's a really good book. So I like the way that the prologue and epilogue have like a story to them besides just being a regular astrology book. Okay, so the prologue and epilogue, it is about the creation of the zodiacs from the female mother perspective, kind of like Sophia or a Barbelos type of figure, or a Venus Barbata, the bearded Venus. That's what it came later. It turned into these, I don't want to say blasphemous beings, but, from the emanation and Sophia or Barbello, it became a little bit bastardized over the centuries. So, anyway, the prologue. I'm only going to go over certain bits, okay? Keep it short. In the beginning there was only one being, okay? There was one being. In the beginning, like emanationism, we're starting with that one and going down the divine path. In the beginning there was one being, without name, without shape, without limits, without beginning or end, being the eternal substance and the eternal void. Okay? The eternal void. In time, although there was no time, she became aware of herself and of vague patterns of light and dark. She conceived the desire to know herself and to see what she was. So she goes, so basically she goes within, right? She wants to go within and find herself because she knows she's consciousness. So she wants to go and find herself within, which again is making a closed circuit. Right, going within and creating within is a kind of a closed circuit, which is not like this. This would be more like a caduceus. A closed circuit would be like an Ouroboros or a snake eating its tail. We all know the symbol. Okay, and that's how matter would be created. All right. So she wondered, what would she do with this beauty and variety? This is after she created. So she created all this beauty, variety, and her wondering led into a long dream. She dreamed there was another with her. So like a cosmic twin, whose spirit matched hers, and in whose eyes she saw reflected her own power and her own beauty. She cried out with love and recognition, and her cry was the sound of the first of her birth pains. So immediately, as she's crying and screaming, it is also the pain of creation, the pain of birth, of labor. Okay? And I'm taking you to the alphabet because she's crying out loud. So she's making a sound. Remember, the word sound, within sound there is creation. Within sound, or sound, right, the middle of the word, it starts with S. S is like a sine wave, okay? It encompasses the sword of life, the sine wave, that laser. And aum, right, the middle, O-U-N, sound, ound, would take you to that emanation of Om, which is the name of God for many, and it's also the omnipresent. So if A starts here, G is at the top, God, right, geometry. M and N are at the setting because they're omnipresent. And then sound, D, would be like a percussive, D or T, the percussive. So it encases that snake or that circuit, that closed circuit, the sine wave. So again, this is just creation we're talking about basically. So she cried in birth pains and with pain and with joy. Again, a dualism. There's a dualism there with pain and joy. And she gave birth to her first two, again, a dualism, children, a girl and a boy. Again, dualisms. And you can look over here at all the dualisms. Mars, Venus, Adam, Eve, dawn, evening, male, female, moon, morning, evening, odd, even, atom, electron, electric, magnetism. There's other stuff too. I forget. There's a lot more. I have a bigger list than this. But you get it, okay? Red, blue shift. And this is the Taurus field. It's two. The northern stars, or the northern sky, and the southern sky. Okay. So, she basically she saw Mars rising up in the sky, and the first zodiac she created was Aries because of that. So, and by the way, I think the boys she gave to the other partner, and the boys were raised differently. So she only had the girls, the 12 zodiac signs on the feminine side of the scale. So she kept the children with her, and I want to get to the namings, okay, to when she starts naming them. The fire signs. Yes, okay, the fire sisters. So, she created the Fire Sisters, okay? Very important. She created the Fire Sisters. And it starts with, of course, Aries. So the three young women, the Fire Sisters, they stood up. They were Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Okay? They said they would build a great fire that could be seen night and day, and that they would tend the fire and look at the shape in its flames. Aries said, I shall take fire to all who want it, so that new life may start for the creatures, because I love beginnings. I love to be active and to initiate. I have fallen in love with life itself. Again and again, I shall leap from the dark and into the unknown light. I shall confront whatever I meet on my path, for I love to express my vigor, my enthusiasm. Give me my power to cut through all the obstacles. I shall travel by the most direct path. Remember, Aries is starting, initiating, directness. For I am driven onwards towards life by my inspiration. Leo, I shall tend the great fire, for I feel in my own heart a fire burning. It is the love I have for the world and my joy in life. By the light of the great fire, I shall tell stories. I shall dance and sing. I shall drum. I am exhilarated by creation. Leo is the sperm. It is creation itself. It is the act of sex, and the act of lovemaking or creating anything, a book, a rhyme, a poem, a movie, actors, playing, dancing, singing. I shall send my creation into the furthest shadows of darkness, like the pulse that follows the heartbeat, to drum the joy of the fire, to dance the heart, to sing life. And Sagittarius says, I shall wander far and wide, considering the vastness, and rejoice in it. I shall wander over plains and steppes. Sagittarius is the traveler. Foreign lands, faraway lands. Shall visit all the fires that are lit all over the earth. I shall study the ways of different people, different cultures, immigrants, foreign lands, foreign people, ideas, belief systems, all that stuff, politics, religions, philosophies, spirituality. It rules all those ideals and beliefs. I shall search for the wisdom that illuminates their customs, the flame behind the flame. I shall carry fire to brighten the darkness because I have the power to warm myself and others with my beliefs. So the Fire Sisters set off, full of enthusiasm. Then the Earth Sisters stood up. Okay, so the Earth Sisters, they stand up. And first we have Taurus, okay? Where's Taurus? So we have Taurus over here. There we go. So they were Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We want to stay close to the land, their earth sign. So they said, and to experience through the senses the changes that the earth undergoes. So Taurus says, I shall never tire of the valley. I shall, and by the way, Taurus, they stay stuck and secure to things day in, day out. They can fall into that pattern of stuckness. I shall never tire of the valley. I shall find out what I love and what displeases me. The five senses, right? Indulgences, the mouth, eating, taking into the body. I shall be aware of my own body in every part, and of the body of the earth, fixed like a tree or a mountain. I shall wiggle my toes in the sticky clay and feel it squelch deliciously around my feet. Then I shall feel the stream tingling over my toes as the clay dissolves. I shall collect clay and gather mosses, and by feeling their textures, I shall start to create for myself the beauty that is in the earth. All right, very nice. Virgo says, I want to understand every flower and to know the nature of every animal, every fish, every bird. I shall watch them so that I can learn how best we can eat, what we should eat, and how to heal ourselves when we are sick. For they know these things in nature. I shall have practical help to give a splint for a bird's broken wing. I shall tie back the bush that overshadows the small plants. Okay, I shall be the friend of the nature spirits. I love the natural order of the created world that gives me clarity. And then there's Capricorn. Okay, so Capricorn says, I have been touched by fascination for what's difficult. I shall go out into the desert, into the craggy heights of the wilderness, and I shall build myself a shelter from the sun's rays, for my teacher is the real and the necessary. I love to discover my strength, my patience, my endurance, and as a hardship becomes my friend. Of course, pain, toil, hardship becomes Capricorn's friend, like Scorpio too. I shall always find another challenge ahead of me, for I am the creator of the means to survive. Very nice. So the earth signs committed themselves to keeping their feet on the ground that they love so much. Staying earthy, baby. All right. Then the three other sisters stood up. They were Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And they said, we want to go where we can feel the breeze, the strong winds. We want to go higher in the hills and live with the creatures of the air. And there was a bunch of birds chirping. I have a little bird nest in the back. So the birds are very, very airy, especially Gemini. They're quick. They have that nervous temperament. They're always traveling the local environment. And some of the birds are very tricksters, and they repeat things like a parrot. They parrot things. They whistle. They sing. They kind of play jokes. And they're very clever. So Gemini said, I shall fly like the bee and the butterfly. Try to taste each flower, to drink the variety. Gemini loves variety of their colors, for I rejoice in the ever-changing moment of the hillside. I shall seek a place where I can think most clearly in the sharp air of the morning. I shall pursue my desire to know, for I am enchanted by ideas and exhilarated by the use of my mind. I love to make connections and to shape word pictures. I shall tell my stories to the birds and learn from them to speak their language. Interesting. Libra says, I shall build a temple. I shall build a temple. In the air, in the clear air, on the mountaintop. It'll be beautiful. Remember, Libra's Venus, so it's ruled by Venus, and all about beauty. And Saturn gives it that symmetrical nature, that building, that seriousness, because relationships are very serious. Contracts, open enemies. That's the house of Libra. So Libra says, everything will be perfectly beautiful, and I shall place there everything that pleases me most. Yet it will not be overfull, for each object will be chosen after long thought. Remember, decisiveness. Libra's about decisiveness and weighing the scales, judging. It will be a place where balance can be found, a place to find harmony. My body resonates with the sounds of stillness, of beauty, of perfection in form. Very Venusian. And Saturnian coming together, because Saturn's exalted in Libra. And I want to share these with you. You may come to my temple to find peace with each other and to end disputes, for no discord will remain there. Libra's the peacekeeper, the peacemaker. It will be a place for love. And Aquarius said, I shall ponder the uniqueness and the eccentricity of the mountain flowers, for I love the beauty of the strange and the rare, the unique stuff, right? I shall delight my own strangeness, my difference from my sisters, And I shall send my thoughts out to all people of earth who feel themselves outsiders. And I shall hold fast to our common experience, our equality. I shall watch the storms from a height, and the lightning flash will light up for me possibilities as yet unknown, like a lightning bolt of ideas. Very Aquarian. Because I love the future. Aquarius is the future, as Cancer is the past. And I love to discover what is beyond our present imagination. And so the air sisters went to the mountain, and the air flowed freely about them. Then the three water sisters, dun dun dun, the water sisters. The three water sisters, of course, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And by the way, if you notice the air signs, okay, so the three air signs, they are not animals. Every 120 degrees, 120 degrees, right? The trimorphy. All elements are like that. So the air sign, Gemini, the twins, the two babies, or the boy and girl, or the two boys, or the two girls, the twins. They're not animals. I mean, they're humans, okay? We are not animals. There's animal husbandry. Big difference. We are animalistic. We do have an animalistic side, but we are not full animals. Humans are very different. And again, half of us is an animal. Yes, especially the wilderness part, the lower three chakras. I'm not going to get into that discussion now. But non-animalistic, Gemini, twins, Libra, the scales, inanimate object. Aquarius, the man with the water bearer, the water-bearing man, the man with the pitcher. And the water signs are water creatures. They're all primordial creatures from the very beginning of time. You have the crab and the lobster, or all types of shellfish, hard on the outside, soft on the inside, just like our rib cage, because Cancer rules the ribs and the breasts. Crabs, lobsters, shellfish. Then you have Scorpio. All right? The cave dwellers, living in water, in the crevices, whatever. So Scorpio. And then you have the two fish. So, back to the water signs. Cancer says, I will find a beach where the tide is gentle and where there is sun and shade. Sometimes I shall venture forth on the tide, but I shall always return to my own harbor. I shall live in a cave. I shall live in a cave, and for me it will be a nurturing place. You may come there to give birth. Cancer is the mother, right? Or when you are sick, whenever you seek the safe darkness to lick your wounds. When I am in a boat, I shall learn from the sea how to touch the past. I shall watch the moon. Again, Cancer rules the moon. And Jupiter exaltation in Cancer. I shall watch the moon and learn sensitivity from the tide's response to her, because I love the depth of the imagination and love to take care of all that is vulnerable and defenseless. The protector of all. The real mother, right? That mama bear archetype, it's in us all. Scorpio said, I shall walk along the cliffs and watch the rough surf. I shall delight in the high tide at full moon. I shall feel, again, the intensity, right? I shall feel that intensity, and it will match my own. I shall follow the river to its ground source. Finding the hidden abysses, finding the hidden water is what Scorpio is, a detective. Finding the hidden waters. And I shall follow the river to its underground source, and I shall think long and deep about the mysteries of birth and death and the powers of sexual love. Okay? Of who we are and what's the meaning of life. Why do plants grow up each year and latter lose their leaves or die? I shall wander these things, the mysteries of life and death, for there is nothing that I fear except myself, and that too I have the courage to face, going into the dark abyss, right? And then Pisces said, I shall find a quiet pool in the forest. I shall be there alone. I shall be there alone and often. I shall gaze into the deep, still waters, that stillness within me, and will be with me. I shall sleep by my pool and dream. I shall leave you messages and oracles and poems. Ooh. Very Piscean, right? The 12th house. Or you may dream with me, for you are as much myself and I am you, and your dreams are also my dreams. Very Piscean, taking on the other, realizing we are the at-oneness with each other. Very, very Piscean. So, then I will show you shape-changing, and we will become the animals. You may join me and wait through the night till the animals come to drink. And then she'll shapeshift. My magic can heal. Pisces and Virgo is a healing axis, right? Virgo Pisces is a healing axis, is dealing with health and wellness and diet and animals, smaller animals, larger animals, and husbandry, animal husbandry. So, Pisces also says, my magic can heal, for it comes from the place where there is no separation and we are all one, where the water of the pool merges again and is lost in the ocean. So the water sisters went together to find the deep places they needed. The sisters each followed their chosen paths and were happy in them. Those who traveled sometimes met their brothers in journeys and discoveries. Those who stayed at home saw them in the valley. They asked their mother why they had formed themselves into 2 circles instead of 1. 2 circles. The mom formed them into 2 circles instead of just 1. Okay? It's the breath in, breath out, right? It's the breath in, breath out. Male, female. All of these dualities. Septic, antiseptic. Electric, magnetic. So that's why. Did I get to the earth? Yeah, I did. Okay, so each of the sisters found out how important they were. They followed their chosen paths. And then on the next video, I will get to the epilogue, where you find out how did the sisters, or how did humanity fare from the sisters' journeys, self-discovery, and what needed to be fixed. So the epilogue's more of a wounding and then a healing type of remedy for the end. It's very hopeful. Next video.